Start your week off right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into First Take. Thank you for being with us. That is the Hall of Famer, Shannon Sharpe. Hey, Shay, hope you had a wonderful weekend.
I did, thank you.
Good, good. Stephen A. back on the East Coast. Nice and toasty for you. It's a good, like, 20-something.
It's all right.
You can handle it?
I mean, when you're hot, you know what, the cold weather don't affect you as much.
Wow.
What can I say?
Wow.
What
and
can I
there's
say?
that. Dan Orlovsky, how we feeling this morning? Already warmed up, rear and ready to go. I saw you.
I'm ready. I feel great.
Josh Allen victory lap?
No, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is the best player in football, but Josh was absolutely spectacular. It sucks that he lost.
All right.
Sucks.
No, he was not spectacular.
No, he wasn't. I was getting ready to say that, but we'll get into all of that. You're getting all of that.
How do you, I don't even know how you say
Okay, let's
that.
go. Let's start the show. By the way,
Yeah,
RC's here. Ryan Clark will be in the building as well. He'll be joining us in just a bit. Let's start with Patrick Mahomes. He heard the talk, wondering whether the Chiefs could survive their first true road playoff game since he's been the starting quarterback. He and his teammates used it as fuel in the 27-24 divisional round win over Josh Allen and the Bills in front of a wild Bills Mafia crowd. Bills kicker Tyler Bass, heartbreaking, missed a potential game-tying field goal wide right from 44 yards, allowing the Chiefs to run out the clock. Patrick.
Yeah, man, it's a heck of a year, man. I've been on the other side of that. It's tough. You put in so much effort and work every single game to play in these playoff games, and he played his tail off and they gave them a chance to win the game.
Sucks. Losing sucks. Losing to them, losing to anybody at home sucks. Here, there, it doesn't matter. Losing sucks. I don't know what else to say.
Completely on me. Didn't work out, and I feel terrible. You know, I love this team, man, and it hurts. This one hurts bad, and yeah, I gotta do a better job. Totally.
All right, Essa, I want to talk to you first. Did the Chiefs take it, or did you feel like the Bills blew it?
I thought the Bills blew it, personally speaking. And that's not to say they would have won anyway. I understand we're talking about Patrick Mahomes that they're going up against, but missed opportunities are missed opportunities. First of all, to the kicker, Tyler Bass. You know, I can respect the fact, and I want to applaud his bravery for being in the locker room, because as far as I'm concerned, he should have walked straight to his car and just went home. Didn't even bother going to the locker room. It's all you do. I'm just sick and tired of us sugarcoating our way around it. I mean, when you consider the violence that exists in the sport of football, which obviously Dan Orlovsky and you, Shay, know better than me, the bottom line is this. You're a kicker, you got one job. That's all you got. One job. And that was a gimme. That was a 44-yard field goal. You can't miss that. You can't miss that. Wide right, reminding us of the Super Bowl you lost to the New York Giants 20-19 back in the 80s. I mean, my God. Come on, man. You got one damn job. And by the way, you don't miss that normally. So all of a sudden you pick a divisional playoff game with an AFC championship berth on the line and you miss that. Shameful. And that's what he has to live with the entire offseason, stuff like that. But I give him props for being in the locker room and doing an interview, okay? That's about that. Let me also point out Stephon Diggs. You that dude, you that brother, you dropped a bomb. It was right in your hands. It went right through your hands. It was not touched by a defender. You elevated. It was right there, and you let it go right through you. I understand that happens, but you are one of the all-world receivers in the National Football League. For that ball to be laid out, a bomb from Josh Allen that was right there in your arms that would have gave them the ball at the 20-yard line to drop that pass, that is all-time throw. Shannon, big-time receivers, and we know that Stephon is big-time, but big-time receivers don't drop that pass. They don't miss something like that. That's number two. I understand there was pressure coming from Josh Allen's way because his offensive lineman was being pushed back. I get that, but you got to find a way to step into that throw and to hit Shakur. You have to hit him. He's wide open in the end zone, right in the middle of the end zone. There's no one in the vicinity. You can't underdog. Shannon. That looked like my first pitch. I mean, that's how short it came. You cannot do that. You can't do it. You have to make that throw because you're Josh Allen, because you're great and you're going up against Patrick Mahomes. You got to make that throw. You got to put your team in a position where under 2 minutes left, it's up to the defense now because you brought them back. You gave them the lead. You up for Kansas City would have needed a touchdown. You got to make sure you make that throw. Those are 3 opportunities right there to either tie or win the game, and you blew that. And don't get me started with that ridiculous fake punt that McDermott called. Horrible call. Horrible. If McCole Hardman doesn't fumble, at the goal line and fumbles the ball out of the end zone, the game is over. There is no need for the last minute potential heroics on the part of Allen, Diggs, or even a field goal made by Bass. None of that is relevant if you don't sit up there and do that fake punt. That was an awful call. So I'm looking at 4 different scenarios. And last but not least, before you get into your soliloquy, Orlovsky, because we totally disagreed with you, me and Shannon, and you talked about Josh Allen being so great. First of all, he threw for under 200 yards. That was 186 yards. But before you go on your little soliloquy about this man who is 0-4 in the playoffs against Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, but 5-1 against everybody else, let me also mention this point right here. I'm looking at this stuff right here, and about what is it? Only 95 yards was thrown behind the yard of scrimmage. He completed all 16 passes. He threw the ball behind the line of scrimmage 16 times.
It's good coaching.
That's Josh Allen. That's good. Your definition of spectacular is clearly different than me and Shannon's. That's all I want to say.
I'm going or you, Shannon?
You go,
You go ahead. Go ahead, O.
All right. Listen, the true answer is both. Both of these answers are part of this. Buffalo absolutely missed opportunities. I'm going to get to that. You got to credit Kansas City for kind of what they did going on the road. Number one, I said a month ago, everyone's asking, can they get back? And the answer was yes, if they could play one clean month of football. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, almost to a point of us getting frustrated with their answers in press conferences, were like, it's the controllables. We have to stop beating ourselves. Penalties and turnovers. Penalties, turnovers, and drops. 2 penalties, 1 drop. Andy Reid and Matt Nagy, absolutely outstanding game plan. The way that Andy Reid and Matt Nagy used the tight ends, kind of formation things, shifted a ton, and the way that they attacked Buffalo's defense as a good unit and ran the football with Pacheco, absolutely fantastic. I love the creativity to get Travis Kelce the football in different ways. We saw Kelce line up in 7 different spots, slots, outside, backfield. They threw him the ball out of the backfield. And a guy that we've had a lot of conversation about and a lot of people have made fun of and taken shots at, MVS. 2 huge catches. Both in the second half. So to go on the road and to go do that big time. Patrick was sensational, moving in the pocket, 2 free runners, making throws. Okay, so I want to get that out of the way. Chiefs, you went on the road and won it. Patrick, spectacular. Oh, that's Buffalo. This is a massive missed opportunity by the Buffalo Bills. Okay, this is the second time in 3 years that we've watched this quarterback be at worst the second best player in the game, and some would say the best player in the game and lose. You got to stop throwing these stupid stats at me about Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, okay? They're ridiculous. 0-3 versus Patrick in the playoffs. He accounts for 306 yards of offense alone in those 3 games. 22 touchdowns and 1 turnover in those playoff runs. He was absolutely sensational yesterday. I want to put into context everybody at home. No. Don't give me the eye roll. Context at home, because you say 186 yards passing. This is like, well, I guess he doesn't run. I guess he doesn't have his legs. So context yesterday. Well. Top 3 defense, Kansas City, okay? 27 first downs accounted for. Most given up by that defense. No sacks by that defense. Hadn't happened all season long. Scored on 50% of their possessions. They had 3 drives that went for 75 yards or more. No one had done that against the Kansas City Chiefs, except for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Last thing I'm going to say about Josh Allen is this, because I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this today. Bring it, okay? There's one quarterback in the history of the NFL that has accounted for 50 touchdowns in a season when you include the playoffs and not gone to the championship games. Josh Allen. He's done it twice. Don't tell me he wasn't great. There's no way we watch the same game and think that.
What I will tell you it only matters. It doesn't matter how great you are, offensively, defensively, or a player. Can you get done what you need to get done when you absolutely have to have it? When they absolutely needed to get the ball in the end zone, did he do it? All the reasons why you mentioned that Kansas City took this game, because we were questioning. This was the best offensive game that we've seen from the Chiefs offense the entire season. The offensive line was exceptional. Patrick Mahomes was at his absolute best. All the other things, no drop passes, no penalties by the offensive line, no early pressures by the offensive line. They did an absolutely great job. That's why they took the game. Buffalo kept saying, we need to get these games in our building. We need to get Kansas City and Buffalo. Well, you had Cincinnati and Buffalo last year, and you lost. You had Kansas City this year, and you lost. And forget the stats. When it comes down to it, Patrick Mahomes somehow is able to make the plays that Josh Allen cannot make in moments. Because, D.O., you know this. Sometimes the game comes down to moments. It's not the entirety of the game. It comes down to moments. And what made Brady so great is that when the moments needed him to rise to the occasion, not only did he rise, he surpassed what we even thought he could get to. And that is where Patrick Mahomes is different than Josh Allen. When we need Josh to be at his absolute best, he came up small. Patrick, first of all, and second of all, Andy Reid.
Let him speak.
What?
He didn't. No. He didn't. Go ahead, Shannon. He did not interrupt you. Let him speak.
You look at Kansas City. Sean McDermott with 13 minutes in the ball game on 4th and 5 at your own 20, at your own 29. Why would you go for it? Remember, Kansas City had gone up and down the field. The 13 of their previous 16 possessions, Kansas City had kicked field goals. So their first 2 possessions last night, they kicked field goals. After that, bam, 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 late in the first half, early in the third. Why would you put Kansas City on a short field? Why would you do that? The only thing is Andy Reid tried to get cute and outsmart himself and put the ball in the guy's hand, although Pacheco had run it down there. You're going to put the ball in McCole Hardman's hand, who hadn't touched the ball all night, who hadn't really touched the ball all year. Give the ball to Pacheco, give the ball to Edwards-Helaire, let him punch the ball in, and now you go up by 2 scores. Kansas City took this game, Dio, because this was the cleanest game that we had seen offensively, and they had to have it because, like you said, all the stats that you gave against their defense, the first downs that they gave up, the rush yards that they gave up, the non-pressures that they didn't generate, with the exception of that one that Stone Cold Jones got on him, and he forced him to the errant throw to Shakir. Kansas City won this game because you go on the road and you hadn't looked like this all year. You tell me the game in which you saw their offensive line play like this, Patrick Mahomes throw like this, and the receivers hold on to the ball like this. Tell me the game in the regular season in which we saw this offense look like what they looked last night.
Shannon, the only correct, because I don't disagree with what you're saying, the only correction I would make is about Hardman getting the ball. I'm not saying that was the right decision, but if you remember, Pacheco had run down the left sideline. And what happened is he had twisted his left ankle right there, so he basically assed out at that moment. That's how Hardman was in. Yeah, that's right.
Remember, Edwards-Helaire had already broke one. He had broke one early.
Yeah, give him the ball. I was just talking about Pacheco didn't get it that way because he asked himself out of the game. That's all I was saying.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dan.
What's the difference in this game? Like, what's the difference in this game?
I thought I gave you the moments right there. Hardman, Diggs dropping the ball, and obviously, but also that touchdown that Allen missed throwing to Shakir.
The difference in the game is one quarterback had cats make plays down the field and one didn't. You talk about Tom Brady and rising up to the moment. Tom Brady rose up to the moment and Adam Vinatieri finished the moment. Tom Brady rose up to the moment and an Edelman finished the moment, or a Gronk finishes the moment. So there's 3 drops. Stephen A says he only threw for 186 yards. He's got 3 drops that if one of them gets caught, Steph's is 65 yards. It might end the game. This on Sherfield on 3rd and long, that's 50. Is it a tough catch? Sure, I'll give you it's a tough. So what?
Let me come back at you with this.
What?
You're acting like we're saying Josh Allen played bad. We're not saying that. You're saying
you guys dance around words.
No, don't do that. Don't
you
do that.
you dance around words is the way you want to contextualize things.
We don't do that. Nobody dances better than you. You tried it the other day when you was doing
Fred Astaire.
Don't start that.
Stephen A.
Don't start that nonsense now. Don't bring up dancing because you know how to dance. That's not true.
You both have intimated that he didn't show up in the big moments.
No, we did not intimate that. What we said was, even though the tagline right there says how much blame, we're not blaming Josh Allen, but Shannon is right when he talked about it does come down to moments, and that was a moment where he missed Shakir, even though
he's got 600 pounds in his lap.
I understand it. Listen, you got to step in it. It's the moment. That's what we're talking about. That's number one. Number two, look, Dan Orlovsky, the reality of the situation is 16 passes thrown behind the line of scrimmage. How difficult is that for a quarterback of his caliber to pull off? 16 passes behind the line of scrimmage.
Stephen A.,
what am I missing?
That's the way that Kansas City. That's the way that Kansas City was forcing you to play.
I'm only asking, stop acting like that was spectacular. He was running the football effectively, no doubt, but stop acting like that was spectacular. Go ahead, Shannon.
Dan, Dio, can I ask you a question?
Yes,
how
sir.
much credit last week did you give Josh Allen for the Steelers in the 4-touchdown performance that he had last week? How much credit? You see what you try to do when they win, you give him all the credit. But when they lose, you want to obfuscate him of any blame. He did not play well when they absolutely needed him to play well. That final drive, he's got to make. So in other words, every quarterback that has not got it done, I can go back and look at every other quarterback that lost to Tom Brady. They had drops here or there. But now all of a sudden, Josh Allen is unique in what happened to him. So Josh Allen is the only guy that had guys drop passes.
Shannon, I'm going to give you one decision. The third down decision when he ends up scrambling and throwing away right before the Tyler Bass missed kick. That's when I've said it all morning. Josh, give me that one decision to throw to Kincaid over the middle field. I'll give you that. I will give you that. But it's also a double-edged sword. But it's also he should hit Kincaid over them. But there's a double-edged sword because I could go to the previous possession on 3rd and goal from the 13 when he scrambles outside to his left and throws an absolute heater to the front pylon for a touchdown to Shakir. He has someone open underneath there. So yes, I'll give you that. This moment, Monday morning quarterback, I'll sit here and say throw that.
No, Stephen A., you see what he tried to do? He had somebody. No, it was 3rd and goal. Why would you take somebody that's underneath and force to kick a field goal as opposed to throwing to Shakir in the end zone? That's why he threw to Shakir in the end zone.
That's not a guaranteed first down, Kincaid. Him and Bolton are going to go right at the first down marker. It's not a guarantee.
But how about this here? I tell you what, all the passes that skip to dirt are incomplete. That's what we do know. The one that he threw in the end zone on 3rd down, it skipped. We knew that was incomplete.
Nah, because you guys are talking about it today like one quarterback's performance was exponentially better. And
that's not what we said. That's not what I said. All I said. Let me ask you a question though. Have we seen Kansas City offense operate like they operated yesterday all year?
That was the first thing I said. No.
That
was the first thing I said, Shannon. Let me ask you this. During the season, I was on this show with you guys when Philadelphia went to Kansas City. Philadelphia won. What did we say about Kansas City and their offense that night?
They were bad.
But what was the reason why they lost the game?
You did say one drop. If Valdez-Scantling makes that catch, we're having a different discussion.
Everybody did, not just Dan. Everyone did. Everyone said MVS go make that catch.
But I'm looking at the totality of it. Look at all year their offensive line. They got the most penalized offensive right tackle in all of football.
Shannon, I agree with you. That was the first thing I said. You have to credit Kansas City for the cleanest game that they played and the plan that they let off. The blame Josh Allen, how much blame does Josh Allen deserve?
I'm blaming the Buffalo Bills.
Listen, I don't know why. I don't know. I agree with you. That's not the right question, and that's not how we started off the segment. All I'm trying to challenge you on is don't sit up there and say he was great when it's devoid of that big moment. Now, obviously, Stephon Diggs dropping that pass. That was a great pass by Josh Allen. That's all on Diggs. You got to make that throw to Shakir. If you're going to throw it, you got to make that throw. You can't skip it in there. He's wide open.
He's
wide open. Listen, if you look at the play where he came up short to Shakir, I understand there was some pressure, but look at that. With the arm that he's got on him, as wide open as that brother was, you've got to make that. Again, It's pressurized moments, and the great ones, not to say that he's not great, but the truly, truly great ones find a way to get that. They
Stephen
just
A.
do. Go ahead.
Stephen A., you remember last year in the championship game when Patrick Mahomes was playing on that bum ankle after he had got tackled in the divisional round? Remember what happened? He jumped through on a bum ankle and hit Valdez Scanlon against Cincinnati. Those are the moments that we talk about in which the greatness needs to come out of said player. Josh Allen, I understand that his left tackle is getting put in his lap, but you have got to find a way. If you're that guy and you want to be immortalized, you've got to find a way to make that play.
That's all. That's all, Dan.
We are knocking a player, some capacity, however you guys want to phrase it, because he's not Patrick.
Wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Tell me. You can label it that way. That's fine. You can label it that way. All I know is this. If I'm going up against a dude, if I play your position, and you are a two-time champion, you've been to 3 Super Bowls, you're universally recognized as arguably the greatest ever. My greatest performance was against you in a 42-36 playoff loss at Arrowhead Stadium.
When I got let down.
Time out. When you got let down, you've been salivating for the opportunity to go against him. You waited 2 years. Not only do you have him, but you have him on your home turf. Bills Mafia is in the house. Everybody waiting for days. They're shoveling the snow. They ain't hiring people. People volunteered to shovel the snow out of the damn stadium so they could be up in the house. Everybody waited for this.